Well, let's see now. We have on our team, we have who's on first, what's on second, I don't know's on third.
That's what I want to find out, the guy's name.
And then,
That's what I want to find out, the guy's name.
I'm telling you, who's on first, what's on second, I don't know's on third.
Now, Abbott, you going to be the manager of the baseball team?
Yes.
You know the guy's names?
Well, I should.
Well, you tell me the guy's names on the baseball team.
I say, who's on first, what's on second, I don't know's on third.
You ain't saying nothing to me yet. Go ahead and tell me.
I'm telling him.
You ain't said nothing yet. Go ahead and tell me.
Who's on first, what's on second, I don't know is on third.
You know the guy's names on the baseball team?
Yes.
Well, go ahead. Who's on first?
Yes.
I mean the guy's name.
Who?
The guy playing first.
Who?
The guy playing first base.
Who?
The guy on first base.
Who is on first?
What are you asking me for? I don't know.
Are you able to tell me what you remember of radios from when like you were young compared to now and like all the different radio stations, stuff like that?
It's somewhat difficult to say how radio has progressed. It's more how we have progressed. I don't remember really anything about radios until I was about 9 or 10 years old. And that was because I could listen to baseball on the radio. I lived in San Francisco, and the baseball team in San Francisco was the Pacific Coast League San Francisco Seals. And I listened to so much of it, I can pretty well tell you who played what position on the team, even now. My father was a fan of opera and symphony. Better understand, at the time there was one radio in the house. It's I don't know if you call it a console, but it stands about 4 feet high, and the main part of it, the box was the speaker under it.
Yeah.
It only got AM stations, even though the dials would say shortwave and stuff like that, but our setup was so it received AM stations, and at the time in San Francisco, I can still remember it was a KSFO, KGO, KCBS, KNBR. I don't think it was KNBR then, but it was an NBC station. So the 3 networks were on it. I don't remember anything about public radio. In fact, I have a hard time remembering at one time that they came in. When I say when I was 10 years old, that would be about 1938. And some of the stuff that was on the radio was little politics, world politics. That was when Hitler was starting to make the speeches, and there'd be flashes of his German, ranting and the roar of these tremendous crowds. And the other time that I remember radio is when I was in the Air Force. We did a lot of, as a pilot who was alone, single engine aircraft, we did a lot of navigating by radio. You could try to get a radio station in the area that you wanted to go to. Just say you were going from here to Reno, Nevada. You try to tune in a radio station there, and you could get a direction, which was a great help. And there were a lot of fighter pilots in their navigation.
Do you remember things like Abbott and Costello were on the radio, right?
I'm glad you mentioned that. One of the main programs that I remember from early on was One Man's Family, and Jack, Doc, and Reg, George Burns and Gracie Allen, and Jack Benny.
Once like colored television and stuff like that became popular, did that affect how you listen to radio and stuff like that?
Very much so. Orson, like The Shadow, my father and mother, they were very good about letting me listen to baseball games because they put me to sleep pretty early. And